Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with Yule. This is where we go over the SBA football season pretty much. Had the Arizona Cardinals this week. Didn't come through like we wanted it to. Coming off a win from last week against the New York Giants. But as you can see, just couldn't pull it through this week. It wasn't even a close game like it was the last time. He pretty much came out running and gunning and blew me out the water the first quarter, and it was just downhill from there. We tried to fight back a little bit, but just couldn't get nothing going. Had a pretty much dominant team. What can I say? He was hitting his holes, making sure he was stopping the run. He was playing good pass defense, pretty much just getting in, blitzing. Everybody was getting around the corners. We really didn't have time to look for an open wide receiver, but it's all a learning experience. So let's just go over some of the stats. As you can see, that first quarter, it pretty much killed us, man. He scored 35. We only scored 3, and then, we started trying to do a little damage, but just couldn't do anything to recover from that first quarter. As you can see, we had offensive yards gains was 283 to 505. 93 offensive rushing. I'm sorry, 98 offensive rushing to his 242. I mean, both backs got over 100 yards. So, I mean, we just didn't have a very good day today. Passing yards 185 to 263. First downs was 11 to 18. Punt yards really didn't matter. Punted for 7. He didn't punt for anything. Return yards is 77 to 0. Total yards gained was 290 to 582. So, I mean, it was just a blowout all the way around. Turned the ball over 7 times. He turned the ball over 3 times. That made a big factor in it because, I mean, we came out the gate throwing INT. So, I had to work on that, man. Well, I'm definitely going to have to work on that. Third down conversions, he converted 8. We only converted 2. That hurt us as well. Because, we tried to depend on the running game, but because this Madden, the defense reacts way better than it has in recent years. So, you want to really take care of the ball. So, we just got to figure out a way to get over that hump and start converting on third downs and not turning the ball over as much. I think that will make more of a bigger difference than trying to outscore someone, but just to keep those numbers down, I think will be a turnaround point for us. Of course, no fourth down conversions, no 2-point conversions. Red zone offense, 33 and 33. He had 2 red zone TDs to my 0. I had 2 red zone field goals to his 1 red zone field goal. Luckily, no penalties this game. Time possession 28 minutes, 2 seconds on his behalf, and I had it for 19 minutes and 58 seconds. So let's go ahead and look at some of the player stats. We'll start out with the Cardinals since they were the winner. Kyler Murray, he had a quarterback rating of 118.7, 202 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT. Longest was for 80. I mean, he dropped a long bomb and right at the beginning of the game. So his completions were 90%. He was 9 for 10. I mean, it's not a lot of throwing, but he was connecting when he did throw the ball. I mean, he ate us up. What can I say? He ate us up. Colt McCoy, he came in for a little short while. He had 61 yards, 1 INT, longest for 31. Got sacked 1 time. His percentage was 60%. He was 3 out of 5. So yeah, that made a big difference, man. We should have did more as far as pass coverage. I was expecting for him to start coming out short, but he actually came out throwing long, and it just threw our whole game plan off all around. So we'll just, like I said, we just have to work on stuff. We got to work a little bit harder. So let's see, rushing. As you can see, 25 touches, 122 yards. He was averaging 4.9 a carry, 1 touchdown, 4 broken tackles. He was getting 58 yards out of after contact. Longest was 24. And of course, we come down here to Benjamin. He was 16 attempts, 108 yards, 1 TD, 4 broken tackles, pretty much the same. I mean, they just dominated on the ground this week. What can I say? You know, we tried. We're gonna have to get some bigger bodies up in there, at least a little youth. I think we're gonna be scouting that soon. So we just gotta get over this hump, man. I think we'll be all right if we can slow down the run game and force people to pass more. So his longest was 56 yards. I mean, he just killed it. What can I say? Got Colt McCoy. He got in 1 attempt, 7 yards, no touchdowns. He fumbled the ball. He was getting 2 yards after contact. His longest was the 7. And then we had Kyler Murray come in, 2 attempts, 5 yards. He's averaging 2.5 a carry. He fumbled once as well. And his longest was a 5. So, I mean, it wasn't a big factor as it was with the 2 running backs. So we're just going to have to figure out a way to stop this run, man. That's all it really boils down to. Stop the run, force them to pass, and on our end, start taking care of the ball more. Get off in the receiving. McBride, 5 receptions, 129 yards. He's averaging 25.8 reception, 1 touchdown, 55 yards after catch. Averaging 11. Longest reception was 80. Man, Brown, he had 3 receptions for 89 yards, averaging 29.7, had 2 touchdowns, 61 yards after catch, and his longest was 78. And of course, you had Connor, 1 reception, 31 yards, and you know, he just killed it. He should be getting some type of player of the week. Rondale Moore, he had 3 receptions, 14 yards. It wasn't a big factor. 1 touchdown. The longest was 8 yards. So, man, he leaned on that tight end. He leaned in on the right side. You know, I mean, like I said, I was expecting the pass short, but these actually came from passing deep. So we just gonna have to work with it, man. He didn't play Isabella, which is shocking. All that speed, guess you don't need it when you got a good combination. So let's go to the defense. Buda Baker, he was everywhere. 3 solo tackles, 5 assists for a total of 8. 1 tackle for loss, 1 INT. Ran it back 15 yards. No deflections. No forced fumbles. Then we had Thompson. He had 3 solo tackles, 5 assists, total of 8, 1 INT. Then we had Isaiah Simmons, 4 tackles, 3 assists for a total of 7, 5 tackles for loss, because he was blocking up the hole. That guy's just too fast, man. I mean, he is just too fast. Had 2 INTs, 90 yards. Just took the ball. What can you say? And then you had JJ Watt, 2 solo tackles, 5 assists for a total of 7, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack. But he had actually moved him into the defensive tackle spot, so that threw us all off. I mean, having that guy like that in the defensive tackle position is really just unfair. But hey, it is what it is. And of course, you got Byron Murphy, 3 solo tackles, 3 assists, total of 6. And Collins, he had 1 solo tackle, 3 assists for a total of 4, 1 tackle for loss. You had Peters, he had 3 solo tackles, 1 assist for a total of 4, 1 INT. He brought the INT back for 20 yards. Griffin, 3 assists, 2 forced tackles. I'm sorry, 2 tackles for loss, half of a sack. Allen, he had 2 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss, half of a sack. Jackson, he had 2 solo tackles. Golden, he had 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss. Sanders, he had 1 assist, 1 assist for 1 total. For you, he had 1 assist for 1 total. Like I said, that was the difference maker. These guys here is Baker and Simmons ate me up, man. I mean, Thompson did his thing, but you know, he was bringing the pain with them 2 guys there, Baker and Simmons. So if if any one of them goes down, you have a chance. I mean, just pretty much just keep it out of those guys' directions. That's the only thing I can say. So we'll take a look at the offense for the Seahawks. Passing, Drew Lock, his rating went up a little bit, but like I said, I mean, the INTs, man, is getting us in trouble. I think we might need to add something to him. We'll see if we have enough tokens to do that. Try to make his passing ideal. Maybe that'll cut down on the INTs. I really didn't want to mess with him that much, but and we still got 7 games. So we've only won 2. We're down. So maybe we can turn something around and make it look a little interesting. But I have to see about this guy's contract, because if he's still here next year, we might as well. He'd be perfect and go ahead and, just in case we do get a bust out of the draft, at least we have something to stand on later on next season. So we'll take a look at it. He got sacked 2 times. Longest was 33 yards through 5 interceptions. They only got 1 touchdown. 189 yards. Completion percentage was 63. Attempted 19, completed 12. Then, of course, after we threw the 5 INTs, we had to sub in Eason. That's league rules. So he got in and didn't help in any form or fashion, pretty much. His rating was 12.4 through the INT. The longest was 16. He only completed 1 pass out of 3 tries. So, like I said, we just got quarterback dilemma. I shouldn't have cut Geno, but like I said, I wanted to save the money, especially with all those draft picks. I need to save as much money as possible. But it's just one of those coaching decisions that come back and bite you in the butt. Going to the rushing, we had Walker come in. He had 15 attempts, 62 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry, 1 broken tackle. Yards at the contact was 33. Longest was 37. We had Penny come in, 5 rushes, 30 yards. He was averaging 6.0 average. Nobody got any rushing touchdowns because we couldn't even get that close to the end zone, man. Yeah, 1 broken tackle, 12 yards at the contact. Longest was 9. Drew Lock, he got 1 carry, 6 yards. Got 1 fumble. But, like I said, he was bringing a lot of pressure. We had to do something. We had to get out of the pocket and just, keep the ball alive. But like I said, we'll work on all that, man. We'll have to figure it out. We still got, if I'm not mistaken, we still should have 7 games left. I think we got a bye week after this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So maybe we can regroup and, figure out what we need to do. So let's get off into the receiving. Eskridge was the guy this week. He had 5 receptions for 93 yards, 1 touchdown. He was averaging 18.6. Longest reception was 33. Fant, he had 3 receptions, 43 yards, 12 yards rack, averaging 4 per catch. Longest reception was 23. Metcalf, he's just been quiet, man. I mean, hadn't had no lot of breakout season, but he got in for a little bit, got the 3 receptions, 27 yards, 16 yards after catch, averaging 5.3. Long reception was 16. Parkinson, he got in, got 1 reception, 24 yards. Pretty much that was the only catch, so it's gonna be 23 after catch. Average was 23, longest was 24. Disley, he had 1 reception for 18, 6 yards after catch, averaging 6.0. Longest was 18. Now going to the defense, Jalen Brooks. Hey, he came out to play, but he couldn't do it by himself. So, you know, at least he was making his presence known. He had 6 solo tackles, 6 assists for a total of 12, 1 tackle for loss. Then we had Ford. He had 1 solo tackle, 8 assists for a total of 9, 2 tackles for loss. Hughes, he had 3 solo tackles, 4 assists for a total of 7. So I mean, he was running. He was running. We was trying to stop him, but we just couldn't do it. He was just breaking tackles left and right. Then we had Diggs. He had 2 solo tackles, 4 assists for a total of 6, 1 INT. Ran it back for 95 yards, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's the one we got the touchdown on. And then you had Woods, who was real quiet today. He had 1 solo tackle, 5 assists for a total of 6, 3 tackles for loss. So, I mean, he made his presence known, but it ain't like it's been in previous weeks. So we might go ahead and let, we have to see if Blacklock is off injury yet. We might go ahead and let him start for the rest of the season. This is one of the guys I was worried about. He's been in the league 12 years, so I don't see him coming back next year. I mean, I'm pretty sure the game probably retire him. But, you know, who knows? We'll just see. I mean, we'll just go ahead and get Blacklock ready for next year, because I believe we're going to re-sign his contract, because his contract should be coming up for renewal this season. So, you know, we just start, like I said, right at this point, we're really just going to have to start building for next season. I mean, our season is pretty much wrapped up. We're just going to try to finish up hard and, you know, just go, like I said, go ahead and get some of these guys some XP. That way they'll be on top at the beginning of season 2. Coleman, he had 3 solo tackles, 3 assists, total of 6. Blair, he had 5 assists for a total of 5. He had 1 tackle for loss. Then you had Taylor, he had 1 solo tackle, 4 assists, total of 5, 2 tackles for loss. Barton, he had 2 solo tackles, 2 assists for a total of 4. And Adams, he had 2 solo tackles, 2 assists for a total of 4. Neal, he had 1 solo tackle, 2 assists for a total of 3, 1 tackle for loss. Sidney Jones, he had 2 assists for a total of 2, 1 tackle for loss. And yeah, Harris, he had 2 assists for a total of 2. Nuisu, he had 2 assists for a total of 2. He had 1 sack. Griffin, Griffin, he had 1 assist for a total of 1. I mean, normally these guys are getting 2 to 3, and they were not getting in, rotating or nothing. So I think it just has something to do with our roster. Amaday, he had 1 INT, but nothing other than that. So yeah, something just didn't go right for us. We're just gonna have to fix it. But you know, like I said, you know how we do it. We just try to see our flaws and just try to work harder at it next week. But right now, I guess we'll just go ahead and call it a day. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. help us continue this going on. You know, we try to. I'm about 2 weeks off, but you know, just been life has just been busy. So, but we'll try to keep everybody updated on how these Seahawks are doing. Um, please tune in to the rest of the SBA crew. You know, we got Texans Rebuild. He's always on YouTube channel, and Kush. And we have Delos. He's doing the Pittsburgh for Infinity. So, you know, tune in to them guys. Check out their content. They got a lot of good stuff, and you know, I enjoy looking at it. So, but hey, like I said, we just try harder next week, man. We just keep on trying. That's all we can do. So, without ado, this is Yul Brenner. We're gonna sign out. Like I said, y'all hit that like button, man. Until next week, we'll keep y'all updated on the Seahawks.